that is my new truck. And I've really been enjoying getting to know this vehicle and develop my relationship with it. However, there has been one big frustration. In my last blog, I talked a little bit about some of my frustrations with the element of water. And my time in this vehicle is one such thing. So when I got this truck, the back window was one piece of glass, and I really wanted to have a slider window so that I could get between the back of the truck and the cab, so I can store camera gear and electronics and such and still have my bed space open. So I got that made, and then you'll notice that there are some water stains. So ever since I got that back window changed, there has been leaking. So after I got the window changed, I went back to the window place 3 times thinking it was a window leak, and they looked at it and they siliconed it. The last time I took it to the window place, they took out this brake light and noticed that it looked warped. So then I had to go to the Ram service provider 2 times. This last time they siliconed this one and said it should be good to go, and I went to Wyoming and it rained and I got this massive leak up here. So now the next thing that I need to do is I need to empty the whole back of my truck so that tomorrow I can get the topper taken off so that I can go then to the Ram place so they can replace the brake light. Then I've got to go back, get my topper put back on, then reload the whole back and have that all done before my next camping trip in a week. So pretty much anything that I do with this truck is just a bigger effort than what it was with my Xterra. Emptying my Xterra, I open the doors and I just empty it. With this, I have to heft up and down and use my core, get in and out, be so much more aware of body movement. It's just a lot more. It's just a lot more. So here I go. My truck is now empty, and tomorrow I will go ahead and get the top taken off. So this is a construction and a deconstruction. This is an assembly line. This is practicing patience and acceptance of what is and going with the flow and allowing the journey to be the journey and to participate. And I am participating. Well, there's my truck. I had to get the shell taken off and stored at a facility for a week so that I could take my truck back to the Dodge dealership and have them replace what is called the third eye light. And so, new light, new hardware. I came home, I took a hose, I sprayed it, I got it super duper wet, and there is no leak. My truck feels a little bit naked without the shell, and I definitely miss having the living quarters in the back. So I'm super excited to get the shell put back on and get my back quarters reestablished and get back out on the road. All right, so I'm gonna get a little spiritual here for a moment and share a little bit of the weaving of consciousness that's come through for me as I have been dealing with this leak in my truck. This was a frustrating experience to deal with. It was so frustrating. However, when things frustrate me, I strive to get a deeper lesson, a deeper teaching, a deeper healing from it. That is part of the magic of being human, is that we get to learn from our agitations and rise in our frequency and in our consciousness and our ability to relate with these experiences. So the brake light that's on the back of the truck is called the third eye brake light. And in an energetic system, the third eye is located between the 2 physical eyes. And it is an energetic frequency that deals with intuition and imagination and insight. And it's really what allows us to receive information and knowing in non-logical ways. And it is connected into the element of water. Those of you following my blogs remember when I was recently at Kurt Gowdy State Park and I was resting at the base of a dam, and I got the intuitive hit to immediately move because the water was going to start spraying at me. So the timing of my third eye light leaking and that lesson that came through intuitively related to water was very synchronistic for me. So that's one aspect of the spiritual thread that I want to share. Another aspect of the spiritual component of this process is that water is connected in with the personal feelings that we have. Water is a very emotional energetic in that it shapeshifts, as do our emotions. And those of you that might be interested in the chakras, the element of water is connected in with the sacral chakra, which is in the pelvis at the genital region, and that sexual, sensual activation of our life force. And so this water connection between intuition and sensuality and sexuality is a very strong force in most energetic spiritual systems. And so tying this back now into my topper and my truck, having this experience and dealing with it for like the past month as I've been having all of these water issues. My house was leaking, my car was leaking. I had some other water-based components show up in my life. And it was this strong call to me to be aware of my emotions, my sensuality, my sexuality, and how I was driving and being in all of these energies from the standpoint of listening and acting on my intuition. And so, as I get ready now to set up the back of my truck again, I want to do it with a bit more intention. It is a very different process traveling around with the bed in the back of your truck. I hang out with my friends back here. I have little gatherings with my buddies out in the world, and immediately, as soon as they enter into my living space, they are in my bed. And I hadn't really thought of that level of intimacy and connectedness. So as I go through this process, I want to be a bit more intentional with how I set up the space for self and time with other, knowing that there is a bed back here that has its own energetic frequency out in the world. This process has been an amazing experience of using real life middle world activities as a tool to sharpen my skill set, to engage my practice, and to really be present with the teachings that come through in the various ways that they come through.